Check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. Oh, let's get it. Music off. First things first. My peoples come first. What a day. What a day. Those of you still here, those of you gone, always remembered, thought of it. It's Tuesday. Still celebrating, still feeling nice. Hope the levels are good. Hope you enjoy this show. This is the newest. This is the newest Why Always Me, episode 104. Episode 104. We're getting there. We're getting there. Another episode of Why Always Me. I'm gonna speak on the 115 charges. I know it seems kind of weird. Peter, why are you gonna think about the 115 after just winning the 4-peat? Having a upcoming weekend where you got the FA Cup final. We can do it all. We can celebrate and we can have conversations because honestly, nothing can faze me. Nothing can faze any City fan. We will handle whatever it is. And I see all of you joining in. Thank you for the views right now. If you're on YouTube, you know what you got to do. If you're on YouTube, you know what you got to do. You know what? I'm in. Maybe I'll get out of this running jacket. If you happen to be on Twitter X, hey, you can still comment. You still be part of the show. Happen to pull out your second device. All right, whether it's your tablet, your desktop, your laptop, or your burner. Just go onto the YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But you see what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the 115, the 115 charges. And we're going to speak about why the charges are not the reason why rival clubs are failing, why they're not getting the success. It's not because of the 115. And we're also going to discuss everything right here. These conversations, we're going to have all of them. And now let's just run through the list for those of you that may be listening and not watching right now. Doing what's never been done before is going to get discussed, and we're going to put it all in perspective. Season not over with the Man United game in the FA Cup final. Best English team ever. We're going to actually break it down, not with any emotion, not with any guessing. We're going to do it based off of all of the facts that have been shared in the past and just related to today. Arsenal have officially, and we're going to speak on this. Arsenal fans, you may not like this. Liverpool fans, you may not like this. And if you don't like what I'm about to say, I'm going to give you ample warning. You know what? When you see this on the screen, when you hear this, you know this might not be good for me to hear.
Can you earmuff it for me? We are going to get so...
So when you see that, you know, ooh, Vader's about to say something I'm not going to like. Let me earmuff it. But we're going to speak on Arsenal and have they replaced Liverpool. And we're going to talk about the red cartel. We're going to have to talk about it because part of the cause and effect, part of even the questioning, even the doubt that they have versus Manchester City and these alleged breaches is because of what they definitely look to put in place with FFP. The red cartel knew to fear Manchester City, and before Manchester City, because of the results of Chelsea, they knew to fear what was coming. But I'm gonna go to the comments because I always shout out who's first in the building, who's first to show Vader Games TV, this channel, love, right? It's only right. It's only right. I'm not at the levels where I haven't hit the 1K yet. I'm looking for each and every one of you to kind of share this channel, get the mix. Other blues, other rivals, you happen to like or dislike what I happen to say, you want to challenge it, you can be in the comments. I am building. I'm building on a show where I'm going to give the ops to get a chance to be a part of the show. They drop their comments briefly to actually be on the show. Let's have a conversation. It's probably easier to go back and forth with a convo, all calm, but you can get your point across as opposed to waiting for when I go through the show and for the certain comments that I get to actually address yours. We can have the little back and forth and it can all be calm. But let me shout out the very first in the building today. Sir Alan. Pep Mancini. Love the name. City could get relegated. All a possibility, Sir Alan. It is a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got till 2025 before that's decided. Aways in the building with the 4 trophies. You know what it is. You know what it is. Now, Jack Lee in the building. This is earlier. So I am going to have to start the timer. I'm going to have to make sure that I do things on point because my work day is starting a little later, but I'm going to have to get to it. So that's why this show's fit right in the middle of it. Jack Lee also goes, win the final or it's a the gracias, guys. Now, win the final, and is it history that could be matched? It could be matched in terms of a team could win the Prem and the FA back to back. They could, but could they do that on the tail end of a 4-peat? No, I don't think so. Jack Lee goes, finished celebrating last night. We have a job to do, bro. Jack Lee, you're absolutely right. Pep said, listen, boys, what you did on Sunday, you got Monday and Tuesday off. Back to training the next day. So back to work for me. There will be some occasional celebrating. There has been constant parading in the jerseys, getting some nice love in the city, Toronto specific, and we move from there. But let me do this right. For those of you that are probably going to watch this on the playback, you're not part of the show right now. I'm going to make sure that I have some nice transitions. When you see this, Vader game. You know it's a change in conversation. You know it's a change in topic. But I'm going to start the timer because I do want to stay concise. If you haven't noticed, I do like talking. I absolutely love what I'm discussing. So I can often go down the rabbit hole. I can often get a little derailed. So the timer for me is for me to stay on track. All right. And I'm jumping in between of the comments and the show. But 115 charges are not the reason why rival clubs are failing. And you know what? Rivals know this. Because many rivals complain. They complain about their owners having to do more. They complain about their owners not being intelligent enough with some of their player scouting, player contracts, right? Squad building. They challenge even obviously their managers with regards to tactics and their ambition with regards to cup runs in the league. So it's an easy scapegoat. It's an easy point the finger and say, the only reason why we weren't able to do as much as we want to do was because of City and the 115. I recently heard something similar to that to Klopp, and I'm not going to crash it on Klopp just yet. He gets one more day of grace. One more day of grace. Actually, let me take that back. He gets a day. The evening, it's on. But I'm going to give him today. And for those of you, it's probably a little later in the day, but you see what I'm saying. Now, the last few comments, because I want to shout out who's in the building. I saw Jack Lee, SarcasmTV, showing love to everybody in the chat as well. I got Coach Corner in the building. They can do it, but will it be a trouble and double 2 season? Facts. You're right. They could look to do something similar, but not in the same way. And that's why it's absolutely beautiful. Coach Corner says, please beat United. Listen, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we play like the teams that's been playing the last few weeks, I think we handle business. And everybody just needs to be healthy. MCFR says, spot on, Vader. I hear what you're saying. Also shouts out and says he loves the show. Listen, all of you that happen to love the show, take a second, share it. I know it's like you kind of, because I feel this way sometimes too. I'm like, oh, I'm sharing it in a group chat and maybe they may not want or respect it. But just say, guys, if you're interested, check it out. No pressure. There's never any pressure. Sir Allen goes, breaking news, we are getting relegated. When it happens, and I'll be here for it. My man, Don Hussam. I'm giving him the Don. I know he's dropped the Don lately, but Don Hussam, this is football. Shout out, my guy. Happy belated. Yesterday was his birthday, and think of the emotions for this man. On the 19th, on the 19th, a farewell, final day of the season, or farewell to Klopp on the 20th, his birthday. And I believe he's going to be doing like a bonus stream where he's going to be talking with any and everybody with regards to his channel. But tremendous. Go support the channel if you haven't been there. As much as he wants to talk crap about Manchester City, away from the rivalry, he's a good dude. Jack Lee goes, I've heard, Alan, we are in big trouble if the sources are right. We'll have to wait and see, guys. Why? What's with the panic? We're not panicking the day after or 2 days after winning a 4P. We're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to let you guys do that. Stop it. No panic. Where are you getting this? Guys, see, I'm not even going to spiral down there. I'm not even going to spiral. I see your comments, Sir Alan, but nah, not today. Today's celebratory. Yo, bless. All right. Now, I'm first going to celebrate before I get into this 115 charges. So let me actually take this off screen. Let me start the clock. And if you can't tell, listen, if you can't tell, there's wisdom in what I speak on. All right? There's wisdom. You don't, despite how young you are, when you start getting platinums, that's because you're being injected with wisdom. It's showing. So don't dismiss my age. Acknowledge the platinum that's coming through when I share this wisdom with you. Didn't mean to make that rhyme. All right, where's my timer? All right. Okay. And we're going to do this proper. Vader game. Doing what's never been done before is a huge bonus. It's actually an amazing moment in time, moment in your life. Think of anything, whether it's sport, whether it's something in terms of a family accomplishment, to do something that's never been done before. In my family in particular, I'm going to talk like kind of like immediate. My mother, my father, they didn't go on to university. I was the first to do it. Doing something for the first time, there's incredible pride, right? And what we witnessed as City fans and what rivals had to witness, and obviously they don't have the pride there, but the moment is tremendous nonetheless. The last great English team, United fans were quick to tell us it was their team. If we want to talk Prem era, they were quick to tell us it was their team. We surpassed what they did. And doing what's never been done before needs to be enjoyed, guys. Let's not allow some of our, and I see it in the chat already when we're thinking about the charges and thinking about getting relegated. Let's not let any of that happen just yet. Celebrate what the players had to do, because what the players had to do was separate from all of that gray, dark clouds overhead. They had to perform. And I said this going into the game. I was nervous. The night before, I was absolutely nervous because I know that this game is played by people, by young men, right? The emotion of trying to do something that's never been done before, the doubt that kind of creeps in. I was absolutely there was so much pride in how I saw the players play. And I'm going to speak on the fact that when you have a club that kind of gets reminded for not having the early, long-lasting success, when you have something like that, it means more. And I'm not playing tongue in cheek right now. I'm not doing that. It does mean more for a club that hasn't had the back in the day, the established, the accepted, whether you want to talk about the 30s, whether you want to talk about the 70s, the 80s, having a few one-offs, having been in the mix, we absolutely love it. Colin Bell, Summerby, Lee. We want to look at all of those times, even if you want to talk about the 70s, okay, but they weren't that chunk of time where many would say institutional. We're living it right now. Things that have never been done. And again, I'm so blessed. I'm a grown man. It's not something that happened as a kid that I'm now having to use my memory on and try and remember and live and go back to. It's something now. And I can only I can only go off of my experience, but I can also live through and see the appreciation from the fan base like Sir Alan and some of the older fans that have been there through the mud, through the inspiring or hopeful times with new ownership to actually the realization. So doing what's never been done before is something that I'm going to continuously talk about all summer long because that should not be dismissed. And the rivals, it's their nature. Rivals are to hate on it. Rivals are to minimize it. Rivals are to maybe say you wouldn't have been there had you not gotten new owners. But listen to how silly that sounds. Any successful club, when they were doing their thing, brought on ambitious spending owners. And when I say spending, because a lot of that had to happen before FFP. When FFP came in, rules changed. But with our change in ambition, with our investment in Manchester City as a whole, and let's not get it twisted, with our fan base, this is absolutely incredible. I love interacting young and old. And early days when I was just trying to mess around with this channel because I was trying to get back to how the sport was introduced to me. I heard stories of English football. I heard about what it was like, what the whole atmosphere is like. So when I did my home and away, it was a chance for me to also connect with fans, City fans in particular, that are on the ground, that are across the pond, that have the opportunity, privilege, I often say the privilege of being close to ground, being able to attend games. So I wanted the conversation there. Those fans can only imagine what it was like being over there just on Sunday. No, all right. More of this because celebrating this for Pete is going to continue on, but I want to get to this next topic. I need to get to this next topic. So let's do this. Vader game. I see the comments. Let me go to the comments real quick. Jack Lee goes, them players need to stop celebrating, get some rest, get nutrition, and do the correct preparation. Jack Lee, don't worry. Don't worry. For you, when you've been so devoted, you got to take a moment to celebrate it so you can kind of relax, be recharged up, and then commit it again. When you have to be so dialed in, just use simple examples of overstudying. When you just study, and you don't give yourself a break, you can kind of have fatigue. The guys accomplished something that was absolutely incredible. A 4P, never imagined, never dreamed of, never thought of, right? They got to celebrate it. Jack, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Most important thing, Jack goes, the most important thing now is winning that cup for the good of football itself. You're absolutely right. Manchester City, this past Sunday, football won. Football won. The Prem won with what happened. And I've had a few conversations on why. And if in my 115 show, when we talk about why Manchester City winning was good for football, we'll break that all down. But today, we're going to stay on topic. Now, start the clock. Season's not over. Jack's been alluding to it. He wants the players to relax on the celebrating. All right? Relax on the celebrating. Get back to the training pitch. Pep, instill whatever instructions you got. We have United to deal with. And United have been looking good. United have ended the season with the win. The talks about Eric Ten Hag have kind of calmed down a little bit. They United fans want to say that he stumbled. He stumbled into a working instructions, working tactics. He stumbled upon a good 11. All right, let's relax with all that. I don't think there's any stumbling. He's a good manager for a reason. He had a poor second season, but hey, y'all were praising him season one. It's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. It's at Wembley. despite last season and the beautiful goals, the volley and the goal from Gundogan, both outside the box. It ended up being a 2-1 game. And yeah, maybe looked comfortable, but 2-1's not a comfortable score. The season's not over. These players need to dial in. We ended the last game without bringing Alvarez onto the pitch. I think we're going to have players that are going to have to play important roles. Grealish, no Stones. We just need to be healthy. Hopefully Ederson's going to be okay. I don't know if he'll be back for this game. If he is, fantastic. If not, we got trust in Ortega. And the news about him looking to extend his contract is also good news. We just need to handle business versus United. I see you, Sir Alan. You're saying that it's everywhere. That's fine. It can be everywhere. There's a time and a place. And to worry is not the time. To speak on it here is not the place. Today, we're speaking on the season not being over. Man United next. I think the threats on United is going to be probably broken down later in the week. Look for me to feature on StaffyTV and probably Vibes from the Six. We're going to have the conversation. But I want to ask rivals in the chat. I want to ask rivals that might be listening. Who do you want winning this FA Cup? Like let's be real. Let's be real. No, like we can do the banter thing all another time, but just take a second, step back. You as a Liverpool fan, you as a Arsenal fan, you as a Chelsea fan, Spurs fan. Who do you want to win this game? We are obviously City fans. You know, we want to win this. We want to be the first to win a Prem and FA back to back. It's never been done before. Not even the great Sir Alex Ferguson. No disrespect, but Arsene Wenger was never able to win back to back league titles. But Sir Alex Ferguson was not able to do this. So even the great Sir Alex Ferguson, even the great teams that they talk about with regards to United weren't able to do it. Rivals, who do you want winning? United or City? Shout out to my man PM in the building, Arsenal fan. You see by his profile. Hey, all things are calm, man. We had an amazing battle this season. The conversations always respectful. Energy's tremendous. And yeah, we'll get back into it. Today is just gotta slip in this show before I get back to work, and maybe I'll be into the spaces. We'll get a combo. But I appreciate you actually taking the time to tune into the channel and also to comment. Some of you don't move as kindly as my man PM. Jack Lee goes, 2 things to avoid: complacency and sloppiness. Facts, Jack. I'm with you. PM goes, City easy. F United. All right. And PM's a real one. Does want to see United get nothing. MCFC 9320 podcast. If you haven't subscribed on it, and I'm sure they're on all platforms, do so. Tune into them as well. Great channel. City's going down with $1 billion in the bank. $1 billion in the bank. $1 billion in the bank. Hey, if we do, we move. I actually thought we would get off. Bring on Colchester. And I'll catch up with this news. But if we happen to go down, then we go down. If we happen to go down, we go down. And the real ones remain. All right? It's kind of like the Great Flood for those of you that happen to know the story. But if they have to wipe everything out for there to be a restart, a rebuild, then we do it. And from the earliest to oldest of fan, guess what? We've been there during the worst times, during a forced relegated time. That's what it is. Maybe some of the fans will go back to Chelsea. Nah. I mean, those that do weren't real to begin with. Those that stick around, we know what it is. White Horse News? All right. I got you. Now, next, as we talk about this, let me put a break in this. Let me see here. Should have known that something like this was going to drop after we've won the season. So let's see what's coming up on my feed. My feed is Sport Bible. Manchester City and Chelsea handed shock. No, forget that. Those are odds. I don't want odds. News. No. 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 Drop the link in the chat if you can. Drop the link in the chat for me to accurately catch up on it. All right. Yeah. But I want to move on. I want to move on to the next topic. Let me reset. Let me move this. And I'm gonna ask a question to everybody in the chat. Let me know what you have to say. Vader game. Start this clock. Now, not a show of hands because obviously I can't see your hands, but in the comments, who were considered the best English teams or Prem team of all time? Who was it? Let me know in the chat. What year? What year of team was this? Was it the Invincibles? I don't think they ever considered the Invincible team the best team ever in the Prem. Amazing accomplishment. I think the shortlist ended up being with the United teams, right? The United team ended up being considered the best teams ever. Now, when they had that conversation, I don't think that anybody was talking about generations. I don't think anybody was talking about, oh, we can't talk about this team because of training tactics or training procedures. They weren't talking about this team not being, we shouldn't consider this to be the best team because of the era that it's in, the nutrition, the drinking culture. They just said, based off of accomplishment, that they were the best English team ever. I think the consensus, let me know if I happen to be wrong, but I think the consensus is United fans, if you're in the chat, rivals, if you happen to be paying attention to this because you were doing your own individual rankings. Did you not consider the 90, 98, 99 United team to be the best ever? Or did you consider the more recent team in the, what would that be? The 2007, 2008 team, the one that had the killers up front in Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo. Both amazing teams. Trouble being accomplished by the 99 team, right? They won the Prem, they won the FA, they won Champions League. If those were the two teams that were considered to be the greatest ever, guess who outdid them? Just take a second, because obviously the reason why you labeled those teams the greatest at the time was because of what they delivered, right? You went and said, you know what, they're the greatest because they went and did it. They just went and did it. They went and got the result. Champions League, FA, and Prem. Just do it. What just happened on Sunday? On Sunday, the team that won the treble at the tail end of an impressive three-peat run have now exceeded the three-peat run that was a treble with a four-peat. I'm just speaking facts right now. So when United did their treble, they obviously went on to three-peat, but they didn't match. They didn't raise their level in terms of what they accomplished, right? It wasn't a crescendo. What's the opposite of a crescendo, right? A crescendo is when you end loud, like, right? Impact, boom, crescendo. That's how Manchester City has ended it. They ended the three-peat with a treble, boom. United started with a boom, bang, and then kind of tapered down. If United were considered the standard in terms of the best, the greatest ever, Manchester City just outdid them. The conversation on which is the best English team ever, Prem era, it's us. It's us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Blues. I know rivals are in the chat right now, but it's us. All right? I'm going to take myself off screen for a second. It is this. This is what it is. Look at them. Look at their faces. Study them. Look at the players. Look at the players. Now, if you want to look at those United teams and you want to go quality for quality, I got no problem with you telling me that United's players, man for man, were better than this team. You can do that if you want. But accomplishment, the team as a whole, what the team did together, I haven't seen anything better. You have not seen anything better. You just witnessed history. You just witnessed the best football accomplishment you will ever see, most likely in your lifetime. I'm never one to say never. I don't say never because too many things change. People improve. Let me point out some of the comments. Let me get caught up. MCFC 9320 podcast wants to say the timing from the PML is shocking. We know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. In this day and age, in terms of engagements, interactions, that's what you do. That's what you do. Shock value. It's disgusting. United 98, 99. United 08, 07. I know what you meant. You meant 09. I see you. Those were the two. Those were the two. Tell me, who's done it better? Who's done more? Actually, who's done it more? City, mate. City, Invincible drew more than they won. That is true. That is true. And this past Arsenal team had to raise their level because of City. City's raised this level. Let's be real. The how you have to close out seasons. And I say close out season, not necessarily start, because starting with a bang, Jose showed you that. Klopp looked at what Jose had to do and mirrored that. Start off with a bang. What have City done other than the Centurion season? City has been steady as we go. Ooh, you got a good start? That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. You do you. How you end the season, City has raised that to a different level. 90 plus points is what's required here. Arsenal 03-04 was serious too. They were. But were they considered? Were they considered the best ever? If you're talking about collection of players, I'm with you. If you're talking about what they delivered, what they were able to do, the collection of those players and their impact in terms of results. And if you want to let's look at wins, look at points, look at attacking dominance, look at defensive dominance, however you want to break it down. That's a lot of the love that Chelsea get because of 95 points. Boom. Even what they prevented teams from doing scoring wise, they got a lot of props for that. Absolutely amazing. I think as great as all those clubs were, City are better. And we're going to geek out on this. This is going to be a celebratory summer. Don't get it twisted. I know the news that's out there. I'm going to get caught up on that. Maybe for me, again, it's 9. It's almost 10 right now. I didn't quite get onto the social and see what was trending, see what the news was all about. I want to do my show really quick before the workday got official. But we're going to geek out. We're going to nerd out. We're going to go and dissect the numbers because I know there's a lot of you that like the numbers game. We're going to really break this down accurately. Jack Lee goes, bring back the Super League. I want to go Dubai. Nah, Jack. Let's calm. Let's drop back. Lower divisions, relegated, whatever it happens to be. Let's dominate and get our way back. Think of the story. Think of the comeback story. Because as much as English media, world media, they want to prop you up to bring you back down, but then they also want to be there for when you get back up as well. I'm not mad at that. That Super League, nah, I don't want that. Spending over 150 to go Wembley and back. I better save. You better save for Crawley Town. Yeah. Maybe Jack. One last Wembley visit, celebrate, be there before it all crumbles down. Our team is the best. If we win the FA Cup final, if not, United's are still the best. If we don't win the FA, United are still the best. I think it's a conversation. Jack. If we win the FA, conversation's over with. There's no debate. There's no fine points. There's no splitting hairs. But I think even as of right now, I give the edge to us for how we've done it. It's one thing to win and continue winning. It's another thing to have the target on your back after a three-peat trouble to then win a four-peat. The four-peat is why we're different. The four-peat is why we're the best. Rose Marie, my gal Rose in the building. She goes, hey, Vader, good morning. I speak blessings onto Team Manchester City and every negative voice be silent now. God bless Manchester City. God bless you, Rose. Bless you for you being on the channel and sharing with the comment. It's gonna be an incredible day, interesting day, and let me keep the show flowing. I'm gonna get these last few comments. Breaking news from the White Horse, Sir Alan. I'm gonna check that out. I'm mid flow with the show. The trophy parade is going ahead on Sunday. It should only happen if we win. Yes, it should only happen if we win the FA. I agree. But it's a four-peat. But it's a four-peat. It would be disappointing. Yeah, it'll be disappointing. But we can maybe do not necessarily a parade. I think we should still give the fans a chance to celebrate, maybe coming into Manchester. Yeah, but a parade. Like I hear you. I hear you. PM. Do the charges not kinda dilute the city performances and achievements though? Do the charges depends on what charges are hitting. I'm gonna be honest with you, PM. Because I already know the charges in terms of resisting arrest, not cooperating. We're getting hit with those. There's no avoiding those. The charges in terms of what they want to argue in terms of financial doping, that's going to make the longevity of things diluted for me. And it's going to require me to get into the details to be like, okay, what's the time frame, when and where? Because I'm not just going to have, oh, you did something in 2009, so therefore in 2024 it means less. Well, nah, it's not going to work that way. I'm not going to be doing this any mental gymnastics. I'm going to have a proper conversation. I want to know the exact facts with what's being charged and what the issue is. But I also know, which absolutely sucks, is that, and I'll get into it actually later in the show. I'm going to address this later in the show. Let me put a star there. Jack Lee goes, losing to United would make us embarrassing standing next to the other great sides. It's true. It's true. And I think Pep is going to be hammering that point home. We can't lose to United. We can't do that. Not this United team. They're going to make it ugly though. They're going to make that game really ugly. When you got the United seeing what Real Madrid and Arsenal had to do when they had to play us, we can't expect anything less. They're going to play defensive. We know that. Vader game. All right, next convo. Got the reset. Let me go to studio. All right, Arsenal. PM, talking to you and all you Arsenal fans out there. I know you. I know you're in the chat. For some reason, you're not showing love and being in the comments or hitting that like button, but you're on the show. All right, let me start this. Arsenal fans, you guys remember? You know, Twitter Spaces. Some Liverpool fans referring to you guys as Liverpool's side chick. You guys weren't able to really get those consistent results. Lots changed last 2 years. Last 2 years, you guys haven't suffered a loss to Liverpool, if I remember correctly. Not in the league. The side chick conversation, the side chick reference, that's dead. You guys eliminated that. Power to you. But I want to point out that Arsenal, no question, no doubt, and I'll give you the factors why, have in a positive way replaced Liverpool. Another red for red. What's all these red clubs? But Arsenal, 2 years now on the bounce, showing that they are, if not beyond or level with Liverpool. And I would say this season, okay, they didn't get a trophy, but this season they've showed that when it comes down to competing for the Prem, they're about business. They're about business. Last season they did what they did, fell short. This season they did what they did, fell short. They've replaced Liverpool in that regard, all right? Liverpool have fallen short a few times to Manchester City. But I want to point out the challengers, the aggressors, with the exception of when they came to the Etihad, they should have been aggressive. They weren't. But the aggressors, and I think they've learned their lesson moving forward, it's going to be, and Pep, my manager, y'all can't pick and choose when you want to listen to Pep. Either when Pep says something, you're like, okay, Pep, we're with you. Or when he says something, Pep's talking garbage. He's talking BS. He happened to say, and I saw a lot of retweets. I saw a lot of likes, a lot of shares. Pep acknowledging that Arteta and Arsenal aren't going anywhere. They've put City on notice. They've been put Liverpool on notice, saying, if you're going to fight for this title, I'm in this mix. We're going to have to exchange punches. Arsenal have replaced Liverpool because it's now been 2 seasons in a row where they finished second, but 2 seasons in a row where they've been fighting for the title. Liverpool were nowhere near last year. 5th. Liverpool were in a 3-horse race and fell off with no real threat of even getting back into the mix. And we still have to see a lot in the summer transfer window. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here saying it's only going to be City and Arsenal moving forward. But I will say that whoever joins will be joining City and Arsenal for this title race. They will be joining. There's a hunger in Arsenal. I saw something similar when Liverpool were trying to get into the mix. And I don't know if it's just a manager's attitude, but it seemed like once they won it, and you kind of heard, I'm not crashing it on Klopp. I'm crashing it on Klopp tonight. But winning one was kind of like, check. The ruthlessness that a manager needs to show for it to trickle down within a club, you never quite saw that from Klopp. But it's something that I'm seeing from Arteta. And he was doing it from early days when he was like, listen, certain players need to go. I'm gonna take my losses while I get this dressing room right. And 2 years in a row, Arsenal are doing damage. I gotta respect it. They've replaced Liverpool. They've replaced. PM goes, even waiting for this segment. No, much love. He goes, really, when y'all come to the Emirates, y'all weren't aggressive, but when it comes to we had to. PM, you were full strength. You were full strength when you came to the Etihad. Why are you acting like you don't remember the team that I brought to you? And yeah, okay, you had your injuries, but it's about what I brought to attack you. And then you want to talk about being aggressive. It wasn't aggressive because of attitude. On that day, and I admit this, you had the better quality. You had the midfield that made the huge difference in terms of why we looked pedestrian in that game. Let's not do this. PM, when Madrid played y'all, they were praised for similar style, but were criticized for it. Make it make sense. PM, nope. I pointed out Real Madrid, and listen, cowardly is maybe how I phrase it, but I get it. If there's a fear of City's attack on why they play defensive, they're going to do that. Ancelotti said it. The only way that he was advancing out of the Champions League versus City was to go to pens. I'm not praising it. I'm acknowledging it that a lot of teams bow. A lot of teams go, we ain't playing you like we play everybody else. We ain't playing our attacking style. We'll defend and try to catch you on the counter. That's everyone's formula versus City. I'm not upset with it. But when you smell blood, when you see vulnerability, you go for it. And it's not to play your full expansive. Let's be real. PM, do this for me. Googles. Do your Googles. The last time Arsenal only had 6 shots in a game, that's what happened when you came to the Etihad. And I wasn't playing defensive like that. I was attacking. The last time you guys had 6 shots in a game, go and look that up. And we did that by accident because we weren't even defending you. You caused the 6 shots to happen or the 6 shots to only happen. Plus, we were coming for your heads, Vader. Don't get too comfy. PM, I know that. And pause, watch talks. Arsenal are going for the crown, and rightfully so. That's the aggressiveness. That's the reason why you've replaced Liverpool, because I think that need is there. Now they were going on 30 years not having won the Prem. You guys are creeping onto that number, but it's only in the 20s. I think that hunger has you guys. You guys are winning one soon. And for those of you that think that when I say Arteta is a manager, it's because I want you guys to continue to have a poor manager, that's completely wrong. I honestly believe he's the guy. He's the guy. Now, we're going to be talking about this often, I'm sure, because Liverpool fans aren't going to like to hear that they've been replaced by Arsenal. Other rivals are going to say, "Nah, we should be in this mix as well, competing for trophies," and we'll have to wait and see. Those of you, 60 of you, much love. If you are not on the YouTube app, take a second, go over there, hit that like button. I'm not keeping track in terms of what's coming through. I'm just asking. All right, just do it. Do what the shirt says. Do what the shirt says. Just do it. Go hit that like button. Rose, my gal. Vader, it seems as if Arsenal have replaced Liverpool, but I say next season it will be Chelsea. I say it here first, the Reds are dead. Like, dead! Is that how you want to say it, Rose? I don't know about Chelsea. They don't have success within a club, also has when there's a lot of confidence in a manager. And that's from the club standpoint, player standpoint, but also fan base. The fan base don't back Poch like that. I think there's less division at Arsenal. There's obviously tons of questions at Liverpool because of Slot coming in. United, I don't know who they're going to get. But I think it's Arsenal. And Chelsea could be in the mix, but the fighters who's going to be between, it's going to be Arsenal and City. PM goes, Rose, that sounds like fake news. Take it easy. Rose is not dropping fake news. That's how she sees it. And we're gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure to clip this so that when we come back and we see who's in the mix next season. All right, let me do this. Vader game. All right. Last but not least, as Rose was talking about next season, Chelsea being the mix, PM disagreeing. We're gonna start the clock and we're gonna talk about why do some rivals choose to ignore history? Why do some rivals choose to think that their historic times at their clubs was done like they were penny pinching? Go back Do your searches. Do your Googles. Glorious times for Arsenal. Big spending. Glorious time for Liverpool. Big spending. Glorious time for United. Big spending. Big spending and poaching from rivals. Just take that. Oh, star over there? Give me that. Star over there? Give me that. Strengthening by also weakening. Look at Chelsea. Jose did the damn thing. I'm not hating on that. Rules were what the rules were. But you know what the red cartel did? They saw we can't have a ambitious, well-to-do owner wanting to invest in a club to rival what's been established in the red cartel. Let's put this under the guise of team protection. We don't want any teams to dissolve or overspend. Tell me how good that's been working. Tell me how well that's worked out. Tell me how many teams actually dissolved prior to. Tell me how many teams dissolved. And if they happen to dissolve, survival of the fittest, law of the land, run your business properly. This FFP was all under the guise of let's keep the gates closed. Let's kind of keep the mix on who's going to be competing for things because we know where the winning's going to go. Look at when the Prem was established. Tell me how many teams have won the Prem. Could probably count it on two hands. They never wanted competition. They never wanted Chelsea in the mix. When Chelsea got through, they obviously never wanted City to come through. The Red Cartel knew. They knew to fear an incoming club that was ready to spend. This FFP, and when PM was kind of talking about would it feel diluted, if I didn't know of FFP, because FFP was just created during your glory days in the 30s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, all got a chance to do what you wanted to do before FFP. And I get it. Oh, rules were in place. You got to abide by the rules. I get all that. You brought these rules in because you didn't want the competition. You brought these rules in because you knew brings results. Is it going to feel diluted? No. It's not going to feel diluted in terms of what was done on the pitch, the players and how they played. What's going to feel a little diluted is now when you look at how you can compare your club to others. Can't escape the rules. That's the only thing that kind of bothers me. If this happens to be true, and if it happens to be true with financial doping. All the other stuff, listen, oh, you want to see my books? No, you can't see my books. Get a warrant. You want to enter my house? No, you can't enter my house. Get a warrant. Oh, you're asking me questions and I'm not answering. I'm not cooperating. I don't care. Resisting arrest, not cooperating with the investigation. I don't care. All those charges won't faze me. Not diluting a damn thing. But if it comes down to we did things on the sketchy side to be financially where we are, the same way probably Liverpool fans feel a little sketchy when they had to hack and get into Manchester City's scouting reports, and miraculously they had a great run of players that they acquired when they've been in the mud for years. Do they feel diluted having paid a penalty and moved on? Probably not. I think it's going to be very similar in terms of I know what the rules were. I know what they were trying to do. If things had to get inflated, that's where I'm going to have an issue with. But if it's not cooperating with an investigation, I'm done with that. Let me see in the mix. I got my man Staffy in the building. He goes, well. What do we have here? We're going to have the conversation. There will be bonus shows today. I'm trying to do content a lot more regularly. And with this news dropping prior to me doing the show was already set up for me to go on these topics right here. I like to stay on point. I like to have the conversation. For me, just to keep my mind lined up, I need to have things on point. But a new topic, relegated. I'm sure it's going to be trending. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different titles out there. Those of you trying to get to that content, trying to get to those clicks. I talk about this stuff. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. MJG window cleaning. I knew as soon as we won the league Sunday, the jealousy would come out. We actually called this out like clockwork, right? You can set your clock to it, almost set an alarm to it. And we remember this from past years. Oh, we're on the brink of getting out of the group stage, quarterfinals. What do they want to talk about? UEFA would bring up FFP, potential ban, every time we went on to a run. Now, whenever there's maybe a drop in clicks in interactions, what do they want to bring up? 115, Manchester City. When we're on the brink of history, they want to bring up all those points. Like clockwork, it's no surprise. MJG, yep, Liverpool fans don't throw stones in glass houses. They shouldn't. They do. It's a rivalry. It's all. That's what we understand. Love to see it, Staffy. Staffy's in the building. He's going to be paying very close attention, and so will I. We're going to have the convo on his show later in the week with regards to the FA Cup, but also some of this breaking news that I'm going to get caught up on. Yep. Too predictable. It's annoying, bro. MJG, we don't need to stress. We need to wait until the dust settles, because what they love to do, they like to just, you throw a big boulder into the pond, get the ripples, get the waves, get everybody reacting, a frenzy. I'm not going with that. I'm not going to be played like a puppet. So I'm going to wait for the dust to settle, get more information. La Ciel Bleu goes, hi Bader, missed some of the excitement due to health issues. La Ciel Bleu, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you're okay. I hope things are looking better for you. Appreciate you being on the show. I would like to congratulate all of Manchester City fans for the great achievement. 100%, man. La Ciel Bleu, my guy. Letty in the building. Staffy can hold that. His Dusty Club never did a 4-peat in a row. Staffy's a good guy. His club can definitely hold it. Love the Abbey. And we still have work to do. Like Jack Lee wanted to remind us, we still have work to do. What to do? Nah, it's all good, man. You commenting is a high in itself. You taking the time to actually say hi is nice, but you commenting is a high in itself. I want to remind everybody on the show. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm actually just going to be wrapping things up. Hit the like button. Share it in the group chat. I'm going to do my best to do content a lot more regularly. If I can, I don't know if one a day is actually possible, but I'm going to at least try and do. Let me not give a number, because I got to work this in with the work schedule. And then we're getting into the spring and summer, and it's going to get hectic with track and field season with my little minions. But I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, I almost forgot. Damn. I almost forgot. I got to remind everybody. Let's just understand this. Don't make the 115 your get out of jail free card for your owners. Don't make the 115 a scapegoat for some of the players that you have on your club. Don't make the 115 the reason why your club haven't reached or haven't had the successes that they should have. Andrew in the building, I see you. 115 charges are not the reason why rival clubs fail. Take a second, think about it. Take a second and think about where your clubs finish, what clubs are ahead of them. Obviously, the clubs ahead of them aren't oil clubs. The clubs ahead of them aren't state-owned clubs. The clubs ahead of yours aren't in breach of 115. There's a lot of things that you need to actually hold the mirror up and look at. I happen to believe, and we're going to look at what news comes through, but I happen to believe that whatever the final verdict is, it's going to make this club better. This isn't copium. This isn't mental gymnastics. All difficulties or all realities, good, bad. Rivals, look at your failures. Don't point at Manchester City as this is why you guys are bad. Liverpool fans, I'd argue you guys have the second best owners to Manchester City. So why haven't you accomplished what you should have accomplished? When you finish fifth, when you finish fourth, Why are those clubs ahead of you? Why are those managers better than your manager? United fans, we all know what your problems are, right? You're quick to tell us Glazers. Now you got Ineos. We'll see. You guys are all kind of pacified for a little bit as a wait and see game. But you've had your owners. You've had your changes in managers. Chelsea, we all know what's going on. The 115 is not the reason for your club's failures. But we're going to have a proper combo on it. I just wanted to make sure in the news of today, which I'm going to do my homework on because I'm going to speak from a point of knowledge, not speculative. But Vader Games TV, this is the newest episode of Why Always Me, episode 104. Why Manchester City's 115 charges are not the reasons why your rival club failed. I hope you understand that. I hope you also got a chance to enjoy these other topics. I'm going to be doing a completely different show with different things to review. Andrew, Letty, La Ciel Bleu, MGJ, Staffy in the building. PM, appreciate you commenting. My gal Rose, you know what it is. Jack Lee, Sir Allen, and early days MCFC 9320 podcast. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to go do so. MCFRTV was in the mix earlier. Mancunian Way, Don Hussam, This is Football. Show love to all. Show love to all. I'm Vader Games. I'm shutting things down. Hope you enjoyed the show. I stayed on point for the most part. I'm going to be doing more of these. And if you have any feedback, any comments on how you like to see this show adjust or change, I'm more than willing to hear it. All right. Love as always. Let me do a proper outro. Catch y'all.
Later.